What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I didn't really plan to do much today. I was going to work on the car. I probably still am going to work on the car and just kind of talk about that a little bit later. Right now I'm actually spending some time to clean the garage out a little bit more. I'm cleaning all the shelves of all the stuff that's been compiled up there for so many years. All this stuff right here. I kind of already did this the other day, and I'm still going to clean all of these in this area because a lot of this is just scrap metal. So I did the back. I spent more time in the back going through that whole rack and stuff. Mind you guys, have been here for about 30 years and a lot of this stuff has just been sitting for a very long time. I'm finally just going through it all and just kind of cleaning the garage a little bit and just tossing a bunch of stuff that's just been collecting dust. And it's crazy because I just came across this pile that's been up there for a very long time. You can tell because all these papers are freaking yellow now. And I came across there's several like Helms manual, Heinz manual, Heinz manuals. And I remember when we had the minivan, we had one just like this right here in the back, the blue and the gray. I remember my mom T-boned somebody right here in the intersection because people failed to stop because we had right away. And like I said, there's a few manuals like Datsun 210s, stuff like that. We had a Sentra back in the days as well too. But I came across this right here. This got me in my feels. And this book, I showed it to my mom. I kind of let her read through this, and she said that this book belonged to my dad. And this book he's had with him since the mainland. And based off all of the writings and stuff in here, this is when my dad was taking automotive courses or learning about automotive. You can see all of these writings are in Cambodian, and it's got dates back to like 81, 82. It says it right there, automobile chassis. And my dad wrote in this book, I guess this was his notebook or something, and he wrote and drew and, you know, I guess took notes of whatever he was learning. And you know, my dad is artistic. I don't think I've shown you guys like the hallways of the house where my dad has painting and stuff he did, you know, growing up. And it's crazy. This is my dad. My mom recognized the writing right off the bat, and she remembered when my dad had this book with him. Now, there are a ton of blank pages in between, right? But in between a lot of these blank pages, it's some real history, some history for me at least. And where is it at? There's a few pages in here that has some written stuff. So, you know, during the Khmer Rouge, the war and stuff like that back in Cambodia, obviously I can understand why my dad be drawing stuff like this. If you look, there's just, I can't read this, so I can't really tell you what it means. And there's a lot of like sections, like I'm shaking just freaking going through this book right now. So this list right here is the family that came from Thailand, the boot camp, all the way to America. And these are the family that came here. So this is my dad, my mom's brothers, and then my brother was born out there, my grandma, my aunt, my uncle, and then my you know, other aunt and uncle right here. And you know, my dad wrote them all down, all the years of everybody's ages, and wrote down when they came here to America and stuff like that. It's this book is giving me chills just going through it. My mom was going through this, and she was like, my dad kept track of everything because he was afraid that he wouldn't remember, you know, the past of, you know, my parents and the family coming here to America. So he wrote and kept contact with like family and friends that also escaped, you know, the stuff that was going on back in the homeland. So a lot of this, the back half of this notebook is like history of our family. There's stuff like this right here is my uncle when he went to school. This is my uncle's like report card. And you got C's and B's, uncle. I thought I was bad, but I'm just saying. But anyways, this is my dad's automotive book, notebook from the mainland to America, and a little history. I'm totally gonna keep this. Everything else I've just kind of been trashing and just getting rid of it. A lot of torn up stuff, old stuff, rat-eaten stuff. And yeah, I'm curious on what else I'm gonna find. So I'm gonna finish cleaning all that up right there. It's trash days tomorrow, so I gotta get as much stuff out as possible, guys. And then I'm probably gonna clean this car out and give it a wash or something. Nothing major going on with that car today, but you know, I'm gonna start diving into it ASAP. So this fire extinguisher right here came out of the 80HF CRX, right? This car was during a time where street racing and car culture was big, and this was like one of those things that everybody had in their car. And I just went through some boxes, and this right here is my brother's. Tell me why they're identical. Tell me why they are identical. Because it was popular back then, duh. 3A Racing Performance non-slip pedals, designed for manual transmission. You know this is JDM when you got an RX-7 right there on the top, brand new in the box. So I'm just about done here. Got rid of the top shelf and just kept the necessities here for like laundries and stuff. And probably just gonna toss this up there. All right, guys. So let's put some work into the CRX. But before we get to washing it, let me talk a little bit about it. In the last video where we picked up this car, I kind of explained what the game plan was. Now I've been on a hunt for an SIR style for the USDM front end, and this is the hood that I've been looking for. It's the same hood on my KRX. It's the same hood on the all-wheel drive CRX, except that's a J front. USDM spec, obviously, for the USDM front end, and I've been looking for this hood for this car, and I found one. Jim sent it to me. His brother had this car sitting around, and I had asked him to part ways with the hood. He didn't want to do it, so I offered a price on the car itself just so I can buy it for the hood. He accepted the offer, so I was like, you know what, no brainer move. I'm gonna go get this car super cheap. I get the hood, and I'm gonna figure something out with the car. So you know me, I love saving EFs, and this is another build that I'm going to be doing. So this became a flip car for me. I'm taking the hood, putting it on this car, and then I got another hood for the car in the backyard. I'm going to build it. I'm going to do a B-series setup in it, and I've been contemplating about all motor or just another turbo car, because I got to think about resale value. You guys got to understand that I don't just do videos on YouTube. I do work on the side as well too. So when you guys see a lot of cars that aren't mine, they are cars I work on for like a side gig for me to keep like income flowing, you know what I mean? So it keeps me afloat as far as like modifying these cars go. You know, when it's not a customer's car, it's a car that I picked up that I'm gonna fix and flip and keep these cars on the road pretty much. So again, just to keep it short and simple, when this car is all said and done, it's gonna be up for sale. But before I put it up for sale, we're gonna dyno it. We're gonna take it to the track. We're gonna do a little bit more than we did with the RT wagon I sold recently. And I want to make sure this car is gonna be like perfect, ready to go. It's gonna take a lot of my mischief and abuse to ensure that this thing is good and dandy before the new owner gets it. This is not gonna be a raffle of any sort. It's gonna be posted up for sale. First person to come with the cash takes the car. I do have the pink slip. It is clean California title. I don't want to spoil you guys in this video about, you know, the setup and stuff we're gonna do with the car, but I have everything already planned out. Today we're just cleaning it up. Let's wash it real quick. Oh, that is so promising. Oh, I'm already in love. That scratch though, I mean, this hood is not worse than the one on the KRX. Wow, there's like a really thick layer of dirt, because you can see the light gray, and then the pressure wash is a darker gray. Kind of curious what this will look like if I polish it out. So the hood seems to have little blemishes right there. You can't really see it. You kind of right there. But I'm overall super excited about this hood, because this is, like I said, a ton better than the one that's on that car. That car needs clear coat for sure. It needs to be resanded. But this hood turned out freaking amazing. I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, it would be awesome if this is how it was. But because this car sat outside for so long that it faded, and you can kind of see right here where it's drying up, you can see that it's faded. Now I can polish this out, or I can sand it and clear it, and I kind of feel like I want to sand it and clear it because this giant freaking scratch that I kind of want to blend down. Right now, if I sand and clear this hood, I'm probably gonna do the one on that car and the other carbon fiber hood that's hanging upside down in the garage. So if I do clear it, I'm clearing 3 hoods. And because the car is wet right now, I kind of feel like, should I sand this down right now? I don't know. But first, I'm gonna clean this car up because I decided I'm gonna wash it as well too, since it's been sitting right here collecting dust and it makes me sad. But let's dry it up. Okay guys, so we are continuing the next day. Yesterday I took off to the store and stuff like that, but we're back and I kind of want to clean out the car, but honestly there's really not much in here. The cool thing is, when we were over there, first thing I noticed, brand new trunk shocks. They stay up. Hella sick. So I noticed that it has the Max Pitting traction bar, the same one we just installed on that CRX. So it's freaking awesome that it came with this. It seems to have been used, like really used, because this is cut off. There's an indentation there, probably from a downpipe, because I think this car was turboed, and it has everything we need to install it into the car. Boy, this thing is freaking heavy. We're not worried about installing that because, you know, we're gonna be prepping the bay hopefully these upcoming days. But it came with some forks for the newer chassis, like 94 plus Integra, EGs, EKs. So now I have these as spares in case I get suspension that required these, because the EF and DAs have the smaller diameter, which we spoke about in the Max Pitting rod suspension video. If you guys have seen that video, I updated the coupon code for the suspension. Apparently they're sold out, so the new coupon code will let them know that they got to ship it from a different warehouse. So if you guys are interested in the Max Pitting suspension, use the discount code DANA, literally D-A-N-A. What are 92, 93 Integra GSR seats worth nowadays? I think the only flaw on both of these seats is these little fabric burn marks or fade marks, whatever this is right here, and the rail has been modified for obviously a CRX. So I'm probably going to sell these and use different seats just so I can recuperate a little bit of money back. But if I don't find a seat, I mean, that's a lie. I have a bucket seat in the storage and the rail for this car, but I don't know. If I can recuperate some money, that'd be awesome. I probably would sell these seats, and I'm not going to ship it if somebody's interested. I would prefer a local pickup somewhere in the Bay Area, and if you guys are willing to travel, that's completely up to you guys, so let me know. Not much back here, guys, just a sway bar. It looks like the battery was relocated behind the passenger seat of the car, and look at this. Look at this. I'm just seeing this now. There is a freaking socket down here. I guess if it works, it works. The seat seems to sit pretty damn straight. That is one way to do it. Look at these giant plates right here. At least I know that they probably didn't cut the DA rails. They just kind of made brackets to fit accordingly. But yeah, anyways, I'm just going to go ahead and take all the small stuff out of the car. There's really not much to clean here. I just got the interior somewhat cleaned up of all the loose plastic and stuff that didn't belong to the car. So this is a clutch cable. I'm going to keep it in here. Probably going to use that, and I'm going to get rid of this giant hunk of wood. Now, prior to going checking out this car, I had no idea that this was cut out. I knew the sides were cut out, right? But this was brought to my attention when we were at the house. This thing has been chopped. Like, there's no spare tire tubs down here. Not a big deal. Race car life, right? The cool thing is it's got a fresh exhaust system. It looks like a 2.5 exhaust system, which I might retain. I'm not 100% sure just yet. I might retain it. These tail lights are supposedly discontinued on eBay. There's a guy on Facebook that wants to trade me a stock 90 CRX tail light in exchange for that one. Originally, he was gonna put cash on top, but then I was like, you know what? It's all good, bro. Pay for the shipping on your tail light, ship it first, and then I'll pay for the shipping to get these to him. He wants these tail lights because he wants to replicate a build he had a long time ago. Finally got the time and space to, you know, build it again, and he had those taillights on his car. So hopefully those taillights go soon. Right now they're just going to sit there because haven't heard back from him just yet. So the cool thing is I just cleaned up the car and I found these under the driver's side seat. It's got these MMR Performance. I don't know, it looks like some old place racing mounts, but a cheaper brand, I guess, because these bushings you can literally just move them inside the housing here. And it came with a DA post mount, so that's freaking awesome. The third mount is in the car, so it's nice to know I have all three of them, right? It came with these big tube header. I don't know what they are. They are welded to the exhaust system, and it has a resonator on it. I have no idea what that is either, but I think today, for the rest of my day, I'm gonna pull the whole front end off the car and then sort out the wiring, do the wire tuck and all that, so we can move forward. Hopefully later this week, sanding the bay down and getting it prepped for paint.
Wood screw. I've seen that a lot. Ooh, LED bulbs. Okay. Look kind of weird.
So just chilling here on my thinking chair, and this car came with rear DA trailing arms without trailing arm bushing. Now it's like, you know what, I'll just put bushings in it. Didn't come with rotors, didn't come with calipers. That means more money. And it still has the HF prop valve, HF booster, master. The front are DAs as well too. So I'm thinking to myself, the DA trailing arms, we don't really need it for drag racing. We don't need disc in the back. I don't have drums. I threw my drums away from the CRX and that car went disc. And the only drums that I have is the one that's on this car, because we're going to be going disc on this car. So I'm thinking about taking that trailing arm off. I don't think I want to put the DA disc on this car, and if I'm taking out the rear disc, that means I would probably want to remove the front spindle disc setup as well. So the thinking process part is, do I want to switch the DA with the stock ones on that car, the all-wheel drive car? It has stock SI spindles, good bearings, it has new pads, new rotors, and I mean, like I said, it'd be more practical to have that here with this booster prop valve setup, rear drums, instead of disc all around, because this car doesn't need the brake upgrade, I don't think. So I'm weighing out all of my options right now. If I put new wheel bearings, new ball joints and stuff on the DA spindle, throw it in that car will finally have a fresh and more decent brake setup, because everything is DA in this car except my front rotors, front spindle setup. And if I switch this one over, then this car would have some stopping power. That is like it's not a dilemma, it's in the back of my head. I went to Walmart yesterday and I picked up the whiteboard that Nomis and, you know, everybody's been telling me to get, so I could write down game plan of, you know, what I'm going to do to the cars that need attention. So this board, I'm probably going to stick it up right here. You know, shout out to everybody who supported by sending a mail sticker to the house so I could, you know, slap it up here. Thank you guys for the support. I'm going to put the whiteboard here, so you probably can't see like all of this. I might even move it down, but I need access to all that, so I'm not sure yet. Whiteboard's gonna come here. I'm gonna write everything out for this car, check it off as I go, or even use it as a constant reminder to, you know, let me know what I need to do as far as completing these cars. So yeah, I took the front end off the car, and I seen this at the house. The wire tuck that they did, you can see the wires are gone, right? But I noticed the fuse box is still here, so I'm like, wait, how did they wire tuck this if the fuse box is still here? Unless you unloom that whole gang of wire under, there's no way you can do a wire tuck without removing the fuse box off this tower because of the length. And then I realized at the house that they ran it underneath the frame rail right here. And the funny part is the AC stuff is still attached to the car. There's no heater AC component under the dashboard, but the full AC harness is still here, literally just tucked right there, doing nothing. So that's one of the reasons why I pulled the front end off today, guys. I'm going to use the power of editing to show you guys the finished product of the wire tuck. I just want to knock it out because it is a timely process. It should be a little easier and a little faster because there's nothing under the dashboard, so everything should just feed through much easier as opposed to stuff being under the dashboard. So again, guys, this engine bay is going to change in a moment here. In 3, 2, 1. Kablam! Looks a ton better, guys. So I just finished the freaking wire tuck. Took a lot longer than I expected, but I don't remember the last time I stayed out this late. It is freaking, it's 11 o'clock. Show them again. It's 11 o'clock right now, and we just finished up the left and right side wire tuck. I cleaned all my stuff up as well. I swept the floors, but let me show you guys real quick. Like always, we're coming out of the frame rail electrical hole, which goes to the door. Snip the rubber gasket a little bit to allow the harness to come through, and that's snug tight. Got this going across the frame rail, got the fan relay, got the grounds secured and grounded out as well, so that way it's making a good connection. Got everything fully loomed up, everything is secured, everything is going to their home location. So this process took a little bit longer because there was LEDs in here that they like kind of snipped and bridged wires into, you know, power sources and grounds and stuff like that. So I had to like undo everything and then redo everything and then, you know, extend to the home locations. So right here we got the corner lamps, we got the headlight, low and high beams are in here, but there is no high beam because that was LED. We got the bumper lamp, we got the fan right there, and we don't have the horn. The horn was cut all the way back here and there was no plugs to it. We don't have a horn anyways, not a big deal. On the other side, same deal, all the way across to the front. We got the ground, bumper lamp, corner lamp, high and low beam right there. There's no windshield wiper fluid, obviously, so that's snipped and kind of tucked away up here. We're pretty much done with the wire tuck. The fuse box, pretty simple. Tuck it up on the firewall, loop it around, zip tie it into place, and you know what I'm saying, that's pretty much all it is for the inside of the car. There's a few more things I have to remove out of the engine bay. The booster master, I'm gonna take it out. I was originally going to leave it in there and just paint the booster with the car, with the engine bay, but because there's nothing under the dashboard, I can access all of the 12 mil and then just pull that out. Since the brakes has been, you know, tampered with before, new front spindle, rear trailing arms, there's no fluid, so I can just pull the whole thing out. Speed sensor, these gasket for the fittings off the firewall, the prop valve, move it out of the way. Headlights gonna come out. They were in here because I had to extend accordingly. So once I get everything removed, I'm gonna spend a day or two to sand this whole bay down. You guys already know the process. So I'm gonna sand everything down, and then we'll probably pick up with this car when we're ready to paint it. This car has definitely been turbo before. Now, Yang said that this car had a B20 VTEC prior to him owning the car, but he thinks that the car was turbo before as well too, and now I've confirmed that this car definitely has been turbo based off these brackets right here where the intercooler was sitting. It must have been a tall intercooler because they had to smash the ends in right here to fit, and then we got these ends right here cut out on the radius support to go back door, and that's perfect because we're probably going to boost this car. So it's already been cut, now I just got to clean it up. Because we lost a lot of daylight trying to fix this mess, I'm probably going to end the video right here, guys. I hope you enjoy a little progress update of this new car. I don't even know what to call it. This is the 88 HF CRX. That's the all-wheel drive. That's the KRX. That's obviously my wagon. I call it the Bulldog. The color kind of matches the color of like the Bulldog from Tom and Jerry, and I don't know, it just looks aggressive when I have the 949s on it. But I don't know what I should call this car, but we'll figure something out soon. If you guys enjoy this video, be sure to leave a thumbs up. And if you guys want to see more progress on this car, because we are going to be shifting focus to getting this thing like literally up and going ASAP, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.